ROBLOX Division 1, and thank you for joining us.
My name is Kotrus.
And my name's Gus the Goose, and welcome to the Perkanma. The snow has come and fallen over the Finnish hills, but don't worry, the track is completely dry, despite some slight scares of rains we've had at this 13-corner circuit, 5 to the right and 8 to the left, where the flat-out sections might lull some drivers into a false sense of security, but the punishments are severe and they are common. 10 seconds you can lose by going wide in the infamous double left-hander as we prepare to see who can come out on qualifying.
If you wonder what happened to Perkama, why the hell is the snow here, it's because of the revamp that happened yesterday. Snow added, fog added, day and night cycle, so the race will end at night. As the qualifying has just started, who do we see as a competitor for the pole position and for the race win?
The top three in the championship are obviously the favorites for pole, particularly Tijer, who has taken pole in the last 6 consecutive races, has 7 poles of 8 races this season. The only other people to take pole, man pitting. Royal started on pole last season at this circuit. Tijer took the lead around lap 17. The two fought, and Tijer ended up taking victory by 0.6 of a second. But as we saw in Pomodoro, it's not all about the top three in the championship. Anybody can come in and cause a disruption for such a close title fight.
Yes, also another notification is that we have had a transfer during the week. Mia Nington is now a Cotangens Racing driver who has been released from Latin Racing, replacing Almighty's device. The first one to start, I believe, is Sebastian Cateau, who has won at Perkama, I believe, in Season 7.
He was very strong in Season 8, just missed out on that lead battle, making the change to Cotangens Racing. Interesting choice as they're lower down in the standings. Hopefully try to get some more security in that entry, who currently sit in 4th place in the standings, according to my sheet here. You can see the drivers run all the way on the edge, practically into the gravel and the concrete the whole way. This is the best way to get lap time around the circuit, where you want to take these corners at full throttle as fast as possible, but it's easy to run wide, and you can lose the lap as soon as the first corner. You can also lose at the very end, and you lose so much time in the session that way. We might see some people fail to get the best qualifying lap in their opinion by the end. We'll probably see some angry complaints from some of the drivers who just messed up on the last corner, for instance.
Yeah, hold on a minute, because Tijer has just made the fastest first sector. It's a sub 25, as we can see in the timings, who has been introduced into FRL lately. 24.9. That's a very, very good, astonishing first sector. Now, finishing the second sector, and it's 25.2, the fastest second sector. Could this be a low 540? If yes, then it's very, very hard to beat, as he has now a lot of traffic, play games, crisscross.
But T-Jerk is an experienced pilgrim. He knows his way around a qualifying session. Like I said, he's taken the last 6 consecutive pole positions. Will he be on provisional pole now?
Crosses the line now, 40.3.
Yes, but 3/10 to Andrew and Royal behind. Currently the class of the field.
Look at Goemi Chris. He has purple second sector. He has taken it from T-Jerk. He's right now in the starting straight line. Could he get pole position? No, he's 5th. Behind Royal, behind Light Murillo, behind Andrew.
I always get nervous when they take that last corner. Such a tight line these drivers take. You can do exactly what you just saw on the screen there from Andrew. Just take too much of the corner, lose all that time. But if anybody knows how to do it, it's our Division 1 drivers here, as Sebastian Cateau goes on another lap.
Yes, as corner cut limit here is very, very unforgiving. All or nothing, basically.
Some might accuse this of being a full throttle track. Definitely as the tires wear down, that might not be so true. We're probably going to see some drivers who are strong in qualifying but not as strong in the race really suffer in the late stints here. But for now, it's all about qualifying, and nobody has an answer for T-Jerk again in qualifying. He's provisionally on pole position.
Yes, but keep an eye on the fact that the one that has won the most was not T-Jerk but Pifting, is because of a superiority in race pace. T-Jerk is only good in qualifying, but he's not the best in race pace in my opinion. As T-Jerk is second in the championship, losing to Pifting. in person. Also, very, very good lap by Dustin, who's driving in the worst team in constructor standing so far, Racing Star.
The two bottom teams, DKB and Racing Star, are tied for 17 points in 9th and 10th. Latin Racing Team, it says on my sheet, only has 1 point more. Royal took a big hit in the championship last time out. It might not seem like much, it's only 11 points to the lead, but with how close this fight is, that's a lot. In order to take back the championship lead and not tie, he'll need his rivals to finish 4th and 5th, Man Pitting coming off worse in that scenario. If they finish 3rd and 4th, he will be tied for the lead in the championship, but anything can happen here. Man Pifting only needs to beat his rivals to maintain his lead in the championship, but definitely Tedric, the one with the most to gain. If he can beat Man Pifting in any capacity this race, he will take over the lead of the championship by 1 point.
Sorry for cutting in, but Andrew has made a purple second sector. 25.1, that's a superior second sector round, riding out the final corner, the hairpin. He crosses the line, and he goes, and he goes, and he goes, and he goes second! Third sector is also the fastest, but he couldn't match Tedric's time. Play Games goes 4th. Sebastian Cateau is joining Dustin 7th. Live Murillo 3rd and Royal 4th.
The gaps are coming down, but nobody has an answer for Tedric's time. 0.049 keeping Andrew off provisional pole. If you did that the gap 10 times, you still wouldn't have a human blink. But going to Chris puts even less between them. He goes second, 0.046. That's 3/1000ths of a second between second and third, but still not provisional pole.
This also shows how much time Andrew has possibly lost in the first sector. You see, he has lost 3/1000ths of a second to Goem and Chris, despite having 2 purple sectors, while Chris did 1 red and 2 greens. Also, this race will be very, very interesting when it comes to strategies. We could have a 1-stop, we could have a 2-stop. We could have those who start on mediums, we could have those who start on hards. It's all because despite having a full throttle track, Sector 1 is very, very technical, and if starting on hards and keeping up with the medium runners, you can have a lot of advantage in the second stint.
You can survive on the 1-stop for sure, but those drivers who probably like putting in all the banker laps and are capable of doing so will likely favor the 2-stop. They can get right up behind the drivers in the 1-stop. At that point, the drivers in the 1-stop are cooked, as many would say, while their tires are also cooked. Millington says that he's cooked again, as he praises the Lord. He's currently sitting in 14th place, only 6/10 off pole, but that's just how close the margins are here.
Hold on a minute, because Manpifting is coming to finish his lap. He has 1 red, 1 green in the first sector, and he doesn't improve his time. 6th. Chris Cross goes 10th, as we have final rounds of qualifying laps here in Pirkanma, attacked by snow.
The stars in the Aurora Borealis will come out at the end of the race, but who will be the star on the racetrack? We've been following Sebastian Cateau a lot in this session. He has definitely had the most track time in this qualifying session. He's going to come to the line, 1 green, 1 red. What will it come to?
And he goes
4th fastest, just under a 10th from provisional pole. Great lap from him. Andrew, also, we've seen a lot of green first sectors and red second sectors. If you get the second sector down, there's not a whole lot of margin you can really have, so we'll probably see a lot of red second sectors there as people lose very tiny marginal amounts of time. Andrew runs wide, he's not happy with that lap, he bails, he stays 3rd fastest.
All we know is that Tedric might not be safe with this one, having 3 competitors within a hundredth of a second, a tenth of a second under his back.
Kimi Räikkönen 077 yet to set a lap, has 2 green sectors to his name, but is not on track, so he bailed his lap. He's running out of time to set a lap. A driver definitely who's had a much stronger second half of the season compared to the first half of the season. Now we have a slurry of the final out laps as people try to get their final laps and hopefully not running into traffic. Millington cuts the last corner, goes into the pits. Looks like he's giving up on this one. Dustin MCA currently set to start in the points. He has 2 green sectors, but he's down in 12th place, 4/10 off provisional pole position. Is he on an out lap or is he on a flying lap? I believe he's on a flying lap. He passes all of the cars on out laps. getting out of the way. Tight line into that final corner. Tight line into the next corner. Tries not to run wide over the snow. Does it just well. He's going to make a run to the line now. We'll see where he's going to end up. 9th, very good improvement. Improves by 4 places. Pushes Krakdev out of the points.
Mian, I was tend to say Mian had 2 green sectors, but he has went backwards in the last hairpin, making him unable to lose time. So it's qualifying over for him. We have Mark Antonu, who's reserving for Sussy Imposter, and he has overtaken me, Mampifting. So he is 7 now, Mampifting 8, as we have 7 drivers within 2 tenths.
Critically for the championship, the second place in the championship, and not by much, is currently on provisional pole. We'll see if he can hold that out for the race. His rival 6th, and the championship leader down in 8th place, only 2 tenths off provisional pole, but that might as well be a yawning chasm of time for how tight this margin is. Mampifting will come to the line again. 1 green, 1 red.
And
he goes on to second, immediately responds 0.016.
Look at Bacon's, 2 green sectors. 2 green sectors, and he goes 8. So it's qualifying over for T-Jerk, Mampifting, Chris. Andrew is not done yet, as well as Light Murillo as he abandons his lap. Andrew, 2 red sectors currently, 4th. Half a tenth behind T-Jerk.
No improvement for Chirpy Bird. I think he improved his time, but not his position. He'll start down in 17th. Good effort from him, but unfortunately, not quite the pace he wants. Andrew's going to come to the line again. It's a very red lap, but he seems to have enough faith in it. You might as well try. It's a triple red. Nothing to gain from it. He's in 4th place.
So we have Brostas Master, who has turned 17th. And it's pretty much over for everyone. So, T-Jerk, another pole for him. Followed by Mampifting by the skin of his teeth. Chris with another astonishing qualifying result. Andrew 4th. Sebastian Cateau surprising everyone 5th. Royal 7th. Even despite having a very, very small time of margin, he's 7th. And it's definitely not helping him in the race.
You can keep your strategy a secret right until the lights come out, so we'll see what everyone's planning today. No sign of rain as it stands now, despite the scare we had just before the race.
The race will start now. 5 red lights. Everyone on hard except Bacons and Mark Antony. Brostas Master lights out. Everyone just driving into turn 1. T-Jerk ahead of Mampifting, ahead of Chris. We have Andrew, Seb Cateau. No one's making mistakes in the turn 1.
It's all clean and tidy into that first corner. It's really the first pinch point where everyone can make mistakes. Into the chicane. Sections like this are very difficult in lap 1 because you just have hundreds and hundreds of cars in your face. Certainly people who race in third person would have the advantage there. They run down the straight. Your really best slipstreaming chance here. Code Bacon's flickering, but he's staying in the race in 6th place. T-Jerk leads 2 tenths for man pitting. Then it's going to be Chris, Sebastian Cateau, Light Murillo, and Royal down in 6th as they go into the infamous section of this track, which you can take at full throttle if you're ready.
Yeah, and also the chicane is very, very hard, very easy to overdo because of the inner wall that you can just bank and then corner cut the second turn, making you lose like 3 or 4 seconds. Definitely very, very tricky chicane. As Bacons is definitely the one to watch. He started on softs. That's very, very unusual. Everyone except Bacons, except Mark Antony and Brostars Master are on hard.
If he's starting on the softs, he needs to make ground now, because as soon as those tires fade away and he's behind anybody on a harder compound, he's in trouble. He needs to get that track position, hopefully get some, in theory, clean air at the front, but that doesn't quite seem to be working. The front pack just have the pace tightened up, and they're so close together, 1/10 separating the top 3. You see their cars practically fused together as they go into the infamous hairpin down into the long straight.
Dirty air can make you unable to make it into the corners in Sector 2. So you gotta watch out for these fast swinging corners. Everyone doing it nicely for now, because the tires are still not finished.
Bacon's definitely coming into that soft tire now. Has a purple in the first sector. He is now catching the lead pack. He's in slipstream range. Hopefully he can catch the lead pack on that soft tire to really make use of it. green in the second sector, as can be expected, getting past the opening lap melee. Now he needs to make grounds on these lead pack.
We already have a first retirement of our session, lap 2, and it's over for Chirpy Bird, driving for Max GP. No,
difficult race for him.
for
Couldn't really qualify in a place he wanted. Another difficult weekend for Porsche.
Yes, as well as Andrew, because he's now dead last fighting with Yoto for the 17th position. I wonder what happened to him. He has started on 4th position.
Something must have gone horribly wrong for him in the first laps. It's so easy on a track like this to get into a lull. You make that one mistake and then you're on recovery mode for the rest of the race.
Currently we have a championship fight between T-Dragon and Pefting, but also in that leading pack we have some underdogs in favor of Code Bacons, of Sebastian Cateau, who has only 4 points so far this season. Definitely not the season that he has expected, as Bacons has made a massive mistake there, losing
it's the last
time
thing he needs on that
and
soft
losing
tire.
places. Soft tires can last from 5 up to 7 laps, so it's half time through his stint.
They can last 5 laps, but they really get that peak grip only in the first half of the stint, so definitely will be heartbreaking for him. But he's not out of it yet. He's fighting with Seb Cateau into that first corner, but now he has a whole pack of midfielders and Royal who will just be chomping at the bit to get back up to the front, get back into this championship fight, which we've seen him in so much this season.
Yes, we have seen it in last season that Royal was starting really strong, taking over the championship lead, but halfway through the season his breath has been worse, and this made him unable to catch up with T-Dragon and Pifting, eventually battling for the championship until the last corner of Kilima Grand Prix. We see this once again as T-Dragon and Pifting are very, very close to each other in the standings, with Royal just behind them, but with more gap. Let me see, currently it's 3 points between Manpifting and T-Jerk, and 11 points Royal to Manpifting, who's leading the championship.
Critically, Royal also lost out in qualifying. Of course, 3 points given to the pole sitter, 2 for second place, and 1 for the third place qualifier.
Yeah,
he was the only one of the championship protagonists who didn't qualify in the top 3, and he still hasn't made much gains, but we know he can definitely fight when the odds are against him, so I'm not counting him out yet. He has play games up the road next to him, who he takes on the main straight.
Also, we have a second retirement on lap 5. Me and Inkton said goodbye to us. I wonder what happened to him, as Sebastian Cateau, despite having a bad season, is now third, seeking for that podium. It would be his first podium since his spawn in season 7, where he has won for Racing Star.
Definitely a season that portrays what we know is his ability as a driver. And this is what I mentioned at the top of the show, that these outsiders, if you were, to this championship fight definitely will be causing trouble, getting in the way, as it were, of the people who are in this championship fight. Any driver that finishes between these championship contenders will be putting more and more of a points gap. But they don't care about the championship. They're racing for themselves. All these championship protagonists are just other cars to pass.
They're not only racing for themselves, but to improve their position in the standings. When we look at the table, we see Dustin in 10th and Sebastian Cateau in 3rd. That's a massive points improvement for Racing Star, eventually overtaking possibly Port Racing. No, I'm sorry, DKB Motorsport.
Biggest gaps forming in the pack seems to be between 8th and 9th place, and another one between the last points position and the rest of the field, 12th and 13th, Milo and Crackdev. Almost 3 seconds, no more than 3 seconds between the two there. So for those outside the points, it's going to be difficult to get back in without that slipstream into the fast sweepers of this track.
So we have now lap 6, so this should be the time around which Code Bacons should pit. He's currently 3rd, so he has overtaken Sebastian Cateau once again, followed by Royal, by Play Games, who's having another solid race. He has won the last race at Pomodoro, ahead of his home fans. We also have Going Me Chris, who is seeking for his first podium of the season.
It's all action down in the midfield. There's a battle going on for 14th. Andrew, Krakdev, and Raikkonen seem to be passing and unpassing each other. No points, but it's definitely for honor down there. Mark Anthony, the second Mogus car, reserving today, has the fastest lap of the race as it stands. You'd expect it to be Bacon's on that soft tire, but he seems to be running well, but can't make any inroads into second place. Likewise, as ironically, Mark Anthony doesn't seem to be making much inroads into seventh place into going with Chris.
For now, it looks like that even the 8th place has the chances to win, because 8 people are within 2 seconds. It's a really a little time of margin, especially when it's a slip track like Pekama.
We'll be expecting Bacon's in soon on that soft tire. I think he's now in damage limitation mode on that tire, the compound probably wearing away from him. Wants to stop as close to the medium runners as possible. That'll be very difficult, of course, but damage recovery is what was the advantage. But he did gain the advantage. He's running comfortably in third place on that soft tire. Hard runners around him. I don't think the hard tire has quite come into its own just yet, but the medium runners do seem to not be gaining any large delta over them as well.
Well, actually, Code Bacons is fighting for the lead with Manpifting and T-Jerk. He was meant to lose time around lap 4, lap 5, as he has made a mistake! What has happened?
The tire falling away from him, he's tapped the wall, he's gone wide, and now it's all come undone for Code Bacons. Perhaps he stayed on that tire too long, we'll never know. But Sebastian Coteau back into the podium places, but with quite a gap in front of him to make up to fill that spot, once occupied by Code Bacons.
Yes, and Marc Antonio has made 4 places from 8th to 4th. Definitely his time now, his momentum, as he is now battling with Play Games for that 4th position, with Sebastian Coteau not that far ahead.
Winner last time out, Play Games seems to be leading this little field. Mark Anthony definitely the danger man as it stands right now on the yellow-walled medium tire, giving him good grip. The hard tire hasn't quite overtaken the medium tire in terms of lasting grip over the stint. We'll see that probably coming later, but for now, Mark Anthony taking advantage, fighting with Play Games, fighting with Royal, fighting with Sebastian Coteau.
Marc Antonio's last podium position was in the season finale in Kilima, Season 7, when he was meant to end his FRL career. He has came back in Season 8 just to be reserve driver for Nichibotsu. Currently, he is a reserve driver for Mogus. Remember that in Season 7 he has made a runner-up. What happened to Yoto? He has found himself at the wall and he has retired. He's
the wall, he's out of his race. Too frustrated, he fell down to 17th. Code Bacons comes into the pits to get rid of that soft compound tire.
Unlike his teammate, he has made it safe and clear into his pit garage, and he has made it into mediums. As expected, he is making it a 2-stop for his race.
Committing to the 2-stop now. Heartbreak for Latin Racing Team. As it stands, Code Bacons could come back later, but they won't score double points as was possible today. Now it's all on Code Bacons to score points for this team. Currently sitting down in 8th place, 1 point ahead of 9th and 10th.
Hold on a minute, because we have a fight for P1. It's not Code Bacons now. Sebastian Coteau has made it into the leaders pack to Manpifting and to T-Jerk. He wants to definitely to spoil the championship party and compromising both championship rivals, championship protagonists, as they are now. Oh, Sebastian Coteau makes a slight mistake, but it wouldn't cost him much because of the slipstream he has. The power of the slipstream is very, very massive on the slip tracks, but so is the dirty air, and this might have caused Sebastian Coteau's mistake.
Even though he's late to the party, he's still the life of it, filling the mirrors, as it were, of the top 2 in this race, definitely showing more of the pace that garners the respect he deserves. Now 4/10 off the lead, fallen off a bit, but he still has that slipstream. He can come back, especially as T-Jerk and Manpifting are fighting each other as well. They can bring him back in. I don't care about your championship fight, he's essentially saying. But he does run wide over that infamous hairpin, and now he's falling into the clutches of Play Games, who probably wants to also get in on that lead fight today.
Well, actually, Sebastian Coteau has fallen back a lot, and he has Play Games right above his neck. He's starting to feel his breath behind his back, as the gap is half a second. They could both enter the championship, the leading battle again, as Sebastian Coteau still has that slipstream against Play Games.
We see that slipstream is critical, especially down that long straight after the hairpin and after the straight that happens after the infamous double left-hander. It's a short straight, but it still matters. And that's where stopping more often might be beneficial or harmful, depending on if you can slip back into a slipstream. We see, for example, Code Bacon's pitted. He's on new tires, but now he's out of the slipstream. He has to wait for someone else to pit, perhaps, to get that kind of advantage. T-Jerk and Man Pitting still separated by nothing at the front. Sebastian Coteau
Oh, what a mistake by Going Chris. He's going to be overtaken by Royo, who has also made a mistake. He has fallen back from play games. He was supposed to fight for P4. Currently is in a midfield fight. That's not helping him in his championship chances. After the season, he has told us, after the race in Kilema, that he will try just as he can to secure that title. Currently, he's third in the standings.
A turbulent season for sure for Royal. Making the best of a bad job as it stands. We see
as we have now turned
changing
night.
Here in Finland.
We have now turned night. It's the first occasion we see a night race at Pirkama this season, pretty much ever.
Soon the Aurora Borealis will be coming out and the stars will be out, but the stars are still on the track. Royal chasing Going Chris into those final corners.
Yes, Marc Antonio has made some has some bad time. He's being overtaken by Going Chris. He's being overtaken by Royal. He's battling with Chris Cross. Oh my God, the rookie who has come this season. Definitely not this time, as we will see soon, very very soon, medium runners to pit, and Marc Antonio is actually one of them. So this might be the reason behind his bad form at this part of the race, as well as Brostar's Master, who's currently dead last, except Bacon's. It should be around from lap 12 to lap 13th, as we have another retirement. Dustin MCA, we have complimented him throughout the qualifying, throughout the race. He's now retired, and we have made it from 19 to 14 cars running.
Only 2 cars out of the points now as it stands. Looks like 5 retirements if my eyes don't deceive me.
It's not even halfway through.
Code Bacon's taken 4 seconds out of the car in front. Definitely the sort of invisible danger man right now in this race, but he's not quite in it yet. Going Chris
has made a massive mistake. I'm sorry for cutting off, but Manpitting has made a massive mistake, and T-Jerk is opening a gap. 1 second. Also, Sebastian Coteau has fallen back into the midfield, currently fighting with play games for 3rd position, and it's now lap 13, when we should expect Marc Antonio and Brostar's Master to pit for hard compound tires. Or mediums, and it could be 2-stop then.
1 mistake, huge championship implications. He's now fallen 1 second off the lead, 1.2 seconds. The gap is growing. It was a bit of a scruffy first few corners of this lap after that mistake. He's now getting closer to play games compared to T-Jerk. Red sectors filling the screen says that as the sun's setting on the track, the sun is also setting on the tires on the track.
Also, if someone doesn't know, or if someone starting to lose his mind, if someone forgot that the slipstream is up to a second and a half, and the gap between T-Jerk and Manpitting is 1.4, he's just at the slipstream range, and this is very very hard time for Manpitting, as we have now 4 to 5 laps until the pit window opens for hard compound tires, as lap 13 is coming to an end. So we will see Marc Antonio. Yes, he does pit. He does pit, so should Brostar's Master, who is currently fighting with Code Bacon's, and it's a easy job done by Code Bacon's. Flight past Brostar's Master, coming into the pits.
We'll see a true image of how this race is actually going to fill out after the pit stop. Certainly in last season's race, Royal led comfortably for most of the race. After the pit stop sequence brought T-Jerk back in, he ended up taking victory on that particular day. So it won't truly be over until all the pit stops cycle out. Very difficult pit lane here, especially if you're in one of the earlier pit boxes. 1.3 seconds still the good from T-Jerk to Manpitting. Still enough to get a slipstream, but it's a minimal slipstream as you're so far from the person in front that they're around the corner when you still can't see them. He just needs to focus and lock in on that slipstream. He does seem to be doing so. He's gaining time to the leader. and hopefully to do so. Sebastian Coteau and Goemi Chris fighting hard on the track into the double left-hander.
We have just met all of the drivers' strats. Margantino and Brostars Master have made it into the hard compound, which makes Code Bacons the only driver who has made it a 2-stop. That's very, very interesting, as he has now overtaken Kragdev for P11. So he's now having a good time. Momentum is with him, God is with him, and the tires are also with him.
When he first pitted, I believe he was just over 20 seconds off the lead. He's now gained 4 seconds in the last few laps on the lead battle. I was expecting to see more people go for that double strategy, but it's definitely been a one-stop sort of season, if it were. A lot of people finding success, at least finding comfort on that one-stop. So interesting to see that so few people went for the 2-stop.
Well, you know, a slip truck has always been a one-stop. And it has also been always the same strategy, but when it comes to tracks like Perkama, when not all parts of the track are slip tracks, are slip related, like Sector 1 in Perkama is very, very technical because of the chicane, because of the low speed corners, turn 1 and turn 5. It's kind of deceiving when
it's not a true slip track.
It's kind of deceiving when it comes to
Pomodoro. People just right on top of each other the whole time. I believe it was less than a second separating the top 8. We're definitely not seeing that here. The time spreading out a second between most of the drivers on the track.
Well, you see, in Season 8 in Nagoya, I believe that there was 10 or even 11 drivers that were within a second. That has been the race with most of the drivers finishing with the same gap, like with the same time to, like, you know, 0, 0, 0, 0 of the time to within each other.
So close. The Porch team is expecting Andrew in. He just took on a pit stop. What tire is he on?
He is on mediums. And we expect to... that's actually very, very interesting, you know, because Kragdev has started on hard and he has pitted in lap 15, which would mean that if he doesn't pit again, then Kragdev will drive more laps on mediums rather than hards. 15 on hards, 16 on mediums. That's a very, very interesting tactic by Kragdev, the Frenchman, who is driving for Hue Performance. As his teammate
has certainly been a favorite this season. Top 9 drivers yet to stop. 10th through 14th have stopped.
Chris is pitting.
Chris, we have another driver into the pits going me, Chris.
Chris is fighting, seeking for that podium. He has already made top 3 qualifying twice this season. He has been very, very much of a sensation, the best rookie so far this season in Division 1. He has had only one race before Season 9 start. It was one race in Division 2, Nagoya, when he has finished on the podium in his debut race.
Critically, he comes out right ahead of Mark Anthony, giving him that slipstream. But if he can get these next corners down, he should be able to pull away and take that away. Certainly what these drivers who pitted early are hoping for is that when the other drivers come out, they can gain that slipstream and perhaps compensate the tire delta.
You see, the gap between Mark Hunton and Goemi Chris is 1 second. That's valuable when it comes to slipstream. So if Mark Anthony actually manages to keep on with Chris, it might bring some good actions to him towards the end of the race. It's like a gift from God, you know. Very, very good time.
A gift from the racing gods, indeed.
Yeah, from Charles Leclerc. Royal is coming.
Championship contenders into the pits. Milo comes to follow him. Royal has that first pit box. Definitely the most difficult pit box probably in the season is the first pit box in Perkanma, because you have to take a hard right the moment you come into the pits. There's a wall on the way there. But he seems to have made it work. He hasn't been jumped.
Yes, and there is on the grass in that narrow right, there is plenty of corner cut limit. So if you corner cut, then there's no mercy for you. You lose 1 up to 3 seconds of a time. And it's not helping, especially when you are on the last garage of the
Division 2 West, we definitely saw a good race come undone many rounds ago when Lukov He certainly hasn't lived it down yet. I believe it was DSF was running strongly, but had an incident coming into the pits.
I don't want to talk about that race. I bottled so hard. Oh my god.
We all have second chances. And going, Chris definitely going for his second chance. He's got a purple first sector. The danger man on track right now as it stands.
Oh, as he has made a mistake in turn 10, the fast left. When it comes to having a fresh tires, it's full throttle. Then you have to lift as the time goes on, as the tires are more older and older. As Going Chris is right now just behind Code Bacon's, who is a two-stopper, the only one in this race. Going Chris has the fastest lap indeed, 14.1, beating pole time by 2/10 of a second, as he's about to overtake Code Bacon's.
About a 20-second pit stop delta here.
Oh. He has made a massive mistake, but he has saved him out. He has made it. He has banged that inner wall in the chicane. As Kragdev has retired, so we have now 6 retirements this session. That might be the record of the season. We have 13 drivers on track at the moment.
Kragdev, definitely a driver with a strong reputation from when the Formula Roblox public open game usually topped the rank chart for most of 2023. Unfortunately, that's 3 pointless races for him in consecutive. Code Bacons and Going Me Chris are not leaving anything between them.
Because Tijurg is currently in the pit and he has made a corner cut in the pit lane. So this makes him lose time. And this is a very, very interesting strategy for Tijurg. He has made the overcut. He has made 19 laps on hards. When you talk about hards, you would expect like 17 or 18 lap stint, but he has made it more lengthened. And he's coming right behind Mark Anthony. He's being overtaken by Pifting. Pifting's corner undercut against his championship protagonist has worked. And currently he has
into the pit lane.
1.1 seconds of a gap.
Undercut or overcut.
And Chris is now the leader, so he's right now has the biggest chance of his life, the biggest chance of his career to not only win, stand on the podium for the first time, but also win a race in what's supposed to be one of the most exciting races so far this season.
Certainly, Code Bacon's.
As we have another retirement. We have another 2 retirements. We have Light Murillo and Brostad's Master retiring from this race. We have 7 retirements this session.
Is anybody going to finish this race?
We have 11 drivers on track. Andrew is being the last of them. What's happening?
Anybody who just needs points, all they need to do now is drive around for 11 more laps at this point. All drivers currently in the points that are still running, 11 drivers as it stands.
As my pitting has overtaken the 2-stop runner Code Bacon's, it would be very, very...
1996, where only 3 people finished the race. Also the race where David Coulthard wore Michael Schumacher's helmet. All the helmets the same on this track. All the cars the same, but the skill level is completely different from lap to lap, as we see Man Pitting hit a triple green sectors in that last lap as he's chasing Going Me Chris and Coach Bacon, who I believe need to stop one more time.
If you all wonder what you have met the Formula 1 record, if you all wonder how is Formula Roblox record standing, it's Season 3 Rio, 5 people finished, and I believe it was PvP Pitbull who has won by 1 minute over other 4 competitors. PvP Pitbull, who's currently came back recently to Formula Roblox, he's currently main driver for Laguar Racing in Division 2 West, I believe. Yes, it is.
I had the honor of racing him very closely in Nagoya. Definitely a driver who knows how to put pressure, even when he's on a different strategy and you can't see him. He knows how to chase. He won on that particular day. Going Me Chris is going to get overtaken for the lead on this particular day. And so it seems into the first corner, Man Pifting glued to the gearbox of that car in front. Nothing between them.
Bacons is making his second and final stop of the Grand Prix, and it's medium compound tires. He's gonna chase now for more points for Latin to get for more points
to keep
to
our eyes on
Aladdin
him.
to survive. They are currently 5th in the in the Constructors' Championship. Andrew, Crisscross, Milo ahead, possibly to being caught up. As currently Crisscross and Andrew are actually fighting for... No, never mind. Oh, they are. They are. Crisscross being followed closely by Andrew. Game of mistakes. If you make a mistake, you're out. This
Knowing
is
me, Chris,
referring
definitely not
pretty
letting
much
man-pitting have
everyone.
it too easily. There's a little bit of margin on that exit, that second left-hander that you can use. T-Jerk definitely enjoying seeing Man50 getting washed by the dirty air of this other driver. Allows him to get right up close. Code Bacon's going to be the danger man probably in the last half of this race. We'll see what he can do on those nice new tires, see if the two-stop comes to anything. He has plenty of slipstream to get through.
When it comes to battles, the only men not involved in every battle are Milo in 8th and Code Bacon's in 11th. We have top three fighting for a lead, with Mempifting taking the lead now. Teacher just right behind Chris and Mempifting. We have Sebastian Cateau, Play Games, and Royal fighting for P4, with Mark Antonio just in the distance, second behind. We have Milo and Chris with Andrew fighting for... Oh, wait. Andrew has made a mistake because the gap between Crisscross and Andrew has increased to 2 seconds and 8 tenths. So this makes...
I was watching his gaps. He had a nice gap, the 4th and 5th.
This makes Code Bacon's job a lot easier to do in seeking more of these points, as Andrew goes wide once again. This is not his time, this is not his race, this is not his season.
We had a close battle developing for 5th place. Sebastian Cateau was in 4th. He was falling back. He's turned that into a battle for 4th place now. Mark Anthony also catching up to the back of this pack.
Oh,
nothing separating them there. Hopefully to pick up some scraps of the podium.
Chris has made a massive run off. He ran wide in turn 1, making him lose a lot of time to championship protagonists Mempifting and T-Jerk. As T-Jerk from 3rd is now a leader with 8 laps to go. Mempifting following closely behind. The game of mistakes I've been talking about a lap or 2 ago. If you make a mistake, you're probably out, and any mistake you make in this situation Mempifting and T-Jerk are sitting in, this might cost you a title possibly. Remember, 3 points out the gap. If T-Jerk wins, he makes the championship into his hands, as he will be the leader. If Mempifting wins, he increases the gap. Both of them are increasing the gap to Royal. He might have a harder and harder job to compete with these two drivers, his teammate T-Jerk and Mempifting.
Certainly about minimizing damage now for Royal. Nothing between the lead pack as they run down to the first corner, the top 2 drivers in the championship, as they are in the championship on the track as the Aurora Borealis is coming out. They both seem to run onto the snow. They've gotten away with it. Going Me Chris has pretty much fallen away from this battle. He's still technically in the slipstream range, but in the state that his tires are in, I don't think he can quite make inroads. Last time out, we did see this race won by T-Jerk ahead of Royal in the late stages of the race. You might see something similar here, or T-Jerk once again taking the late stage of the race, the bull by the horns. Nothing between the two.
Well, Chris is not having his time. He might have a problem with his tires, as currently he's falling back. The gap is 1.2 seconds. Considering Mempifting and T-Jerk are giving a slipstream to each other, it might be even a harder job to come back into this race. His job, I presume his job is right now to just drive and make that podium home for Hue Performance. It would be their first Division 1 podium of all time, because they just came in this season.
They arrive with that striking dark and neon livery. They're running a blue and white livery as it stands now. Certainly Chris in a good position as it stands.
Crisscross, when talking about another Chris, we have 2 Chris's here. Crisscross has overtaken Milo. It's a good time for him, good momentum, as Milo is having a bad season. Last year, last season he has finished 5th in the driver's standings. Currently, let me see. Currently, Milo is 9th with only one podium in Hisborn, which is a slips track. Despite that, he has made points in 3 more rounds. Not a good time.
He's not giving up on it yet, though. He's staying right on the tail of Crisscross into the next sweeping corners, definitely where this track is won or lost, staying right behind him, trying not to get washed by the dirty area, and Andrew asking if it's 75% race distance yet, so we can call it A and get the points.
Well, I'll tell you what, though. The thing is that Mark Anton is on hards. He's now driving his race. 3 seconds of a gap to Royal, 3 seconds of a gap, 3.5 to Crisscross and Milo. If they work with themselves, they could possibly catch and overtake, possibly, Mark Antonio for 7th. So we have plenty of things to be decided and plenty of fun to watch.
Andrew pitting very close to the end of this race. Is he going for a fastest lap, perhaps, or is he just?
Yes.
He's in last of the runners. I suppose you might as well try something different. Going in Chris's race is coming a bit undone. He's falling to the back of his pack. Now Royal's overtaking him. He was running 3rd. Now he's running 6th. And this battle that was once for 5th, then for 4th, is now a battle for the final spot on the podium.
I wonder what kind of mistake he has made. I think we have no corner cuts that makes you unable lose time for like 5 to 10 seconds, like in Halong Bay. I think this might have been the corner cut or runoff on the straight in that fast swinging full throttle sector 2.
I can see the way he's driving. He still has that throttle pinned to the floor, perhaps betraying his tires a little bit with that style. Keeps running maybe just a little bit wide to keep safe. Maybe he ran a bit too wide at one point, or his tires are just falling away from him. Now he's falling away from this battle. He's about to be 1 second off the battle for what is the final step of the podium. Now led suddenly by the reigning winner, Play Games, in that Max GP car.
Also, when it comes to Andrew, I don't think he will have that big chance of improving the time. That is the fastest. You see, he maybe has the fastest soft compound tires, but he has no slipstream ahead of him. Gomi Chris has made a fastest lap, you see, when he has had slipstream ahead of him, because Code Bacon has actually been into soft tires. So this makes Andrew's job even worse to realize. But we will see in a minute if he could or not. We have lap after lap after lap of a fight between the championship protagonists, fighting wheel to wheel almost every corner, every chicane, every meter of Perkama. That's very, very glorious to see, and that is how a championship fight should look like.
Man, Pifting seems to be the fastest man on track right now. He keeps putting in 1:15.2s. Code Bacon's a 1:15.6 on that last lap. He's about to come to the line again soon.
Also, keep an eye on the fact that if Pifting will go back-to-back championships, he is now the reigning champion, Tidrik is reigning vice-champion, then Pifting will become the most successful man on earth in FRO, having 4 championships won, the record-breaking 4 championships won. Currently, the record is being held by Andy, who's not racing this season. Oh no, wait. He has raced this season once.
In a reserve
but he has retired. But he has retired as a main driver, so he has practically no chance to improve on his championship streak. But
Sebastian Coteau is currently running 3rd place. You saw him in that long straight, just weaving, trying to break the slipstream to Play Games, kind of push Play Games, as it were, into Royal, who's definitely hungry for a better result. Now the podium is in reach again with the way this battle is kind of congregated together. Sebastian Coteau weaving on every single straight, taking alternative lines, trying to break that slipstream. He's not breaking the slipstream now, though. Royal's right on top of Play Games. He's going to try to get him into this first corner and hopefully into the place it jumps.
Andrew has stopped on the track. Andrew has stopped on the track just before the start-finish line. So he's just waiting for a race to end and grab that 2 points, knowing that he won't fight anything. That's what I was talking about. This job is very, very hard to do. Even having softs on a slip track, that's very, very hard to do because of having lack of slipstream.
I'm not sure if it's a I'm not sure if it's a disconnect. His car is idling. Usually, when you disconnect, your car's throttle is still screaming away, but it could well be. He did ask if it was 75% race distance.
Yes, he's silent. No, he's driving right back and forth. You can see it. So he's just waiting for race to end finally, as it will happen soon. As we are now heading to the last lap of the race, here we go. T-Jerk having some of the time margin to Mempifting, half a second. It might be not a good chunk of time, but it can. Currently it's 5:10.
Frustration for Andrew. He'll come back to fight another day for sure. Very strong driver, but it might be jubilation for one of these two drivers at the front. No matter what happens in this race, it always seems to be one of these three racing at the front.
I've been talking about Mark and Crisscross's chase. It has completed. Crisscross is right behind Mark Antonio's tail, possibly seeking for that 7th place. Is now game of mistakes once again. He has to believe in himself, not only in him, but also that Mark Antonio will make some kind of mistake.
Knowingly, Chris has fallen off the podium battle. He's over a second behind Royal.
Yes, as we are now heading to the Sector 3, T-Jerk is having a win in his hands. The championship leadership in his hands. One more chicane to go, one hairpin, the most technical, arguably, in this track. Mempifting won't be able to come and overtake T-Jerk if he doesn't mess it up. He didn't, so T-Jerk will come across the line and win the Pirkama Grand Prix, taking over the championship's lead. As we have now the battle for P3. Play Games has just made it ahead of Sebastian Cateau. Sebastian Cateau's history won't happen. Royal 5th, Chris 6th, Mark Antonio 7th, Crisscross 8th, followed by Bacon's, Milo, and Andrew. This is the history.
Has won 2 seasons in a row. Took pole, took the win for the 3rd time this season. Certainly seems like the danger man at this point in the championship. Mempifting minimizing damage by finishing 2nd. Same, unfortunately, can't be said for Royal, who finished in 5th, but brilliant race from him to recover. Play Games definitely on fine form for Max GP in 3rd. And Sebastian Cateau, I tip my hat to him. He finally has a result to smile about in Season 9.
Play Games has made back-to-back podiums with that, winning in Pomodoro. Also, T-Jerk has made 3 wins, equalizing Mempifting's record this season. They both now have, they are now both 3 winning this season. Royal 2, Play Games 1, and that's all when you talk about winners. As we see Andrew coming across the final turn just to finish this race finally.
He'll come back stronger another day. Definitely a very talented driver. Frustrating for him. But he does get 2 points, I believe, from that.
Yeah. Who is your driver of the day?
That was a lot of fun.
Who is your driver of the day?
Given the season he's had, I'm going to have to say Sebastian Cateau. Very well driven from him. He was competitive all weekend.
Yeah, I think so. Sebastian Cateau has only made 4 points, and it would be such a history if he had made it P3 this race, after having some issues in Season 7, having only 2 podiums, retiring mid-season, after having so much of a disappointment in the Season 8, just being close to podium.
My thank you to the audience for joining us.
That season, he's finished 4th, and he has proven himself that he is still capable of getting great results. Let this be a great prognostic for him for the later parts of the season and for Racing Star. He's my driver of the day as well.
The championship certainly looks interesting. We've now seen other drivers are capable of finishing the front like this, finding a wedge right in between that championship fight. My name is Gus the Goose. I thank you all for joining me. I've had Quattris in the booth with me, who's been amazing as always. The championship fight continues when Formula Roblox Division 1 returns.
We will head to Germany in 1 week time at the fast, technical, narrow Bonn. One of the most technical tracks, the most corners in calendar. It's such an exciting race. 30 laps, and there's all to play for. See you next